Welcome back. It's Katie Stories number 45. Today we're going to finish, well, not finish, but we're going to find out what's in Katie's diary. I had a lot of fun last week. I hope you enjoyed. And so what'd you think of that song I just started with? Pop, pop, pop music. Remember these guys? Take a look. Music, if you like that song, pop, and then you spell music M-U-S-I-K. And that came out in the spring of 79, coincidentally, when I was starting to write in this diary. Another synchronicity. It's just too fun. So the reason pop music came up and why I chose it today was a few weeks ago, I come home with this purple jumpsuit. It's not vintage, it's just meant to look like vintage. And when I showed it to Jeff, he's like Mr. Metalhead, so he doesn't like disco and poppy music, and he just kind of like eyes the jumpsuit as I'm holding it up, and he's like, pop, pop, pop. And I'm like, what? And he's like, pop, 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 pop music. And I just started howling. So then I was Googling the song, and next thing you know, I had it cranked, and now it's on my Spotify list, and yeah, it's fun. It was such a good time in the 70s. So let's go back. Let's go back again today. Okay, let me get my glasses. Last week, let's see now, we finished off on, I didn't want to get involved in the big fight with Diana and Donna against Diane S. and Kathy and Vicky. And I ended with Gads. And while I'm on that, I'll probably say Gads or Gadzooks a lot in this diary because Barb and I would often speak Archie comic book language. We tried to always use all of their little catchphrases. And yeah, so there's a lot of Gads and Gadzooks, and I'll think of more. I just thought I better get talking now and read this diary. I know I always drift off. Tonight I went to the disco. I didn't have any fun because Barbara only danced to one song. Do you remember that? If Barb's watching, that song was Macho Man, and I don't know what it was. She would not tell me. She didn't want to dance. And I didn't want to get up and dance alone. I don't remember if I did or not. And so yeah, she just wanted to dance to Macho Man. And anyway, she just wasn't into it. So let's continue on. Phil and Fred were there. My brother and his best friend, Phil Hagen. We're at the disco too. I guess they probably didn't come over and talk to us much. That would have been an embarrassment. I'm at Barb's right now. We didn't sleep in the trailer because it was too cold. Diana was hurt because I didn't go to CYC. So yeah, I had CYC on Friday nights at Mr. Rosenall's house out on Kilpatrick Road. And it was like a youth group, a church youth group. He was such a nice man. He worked at Fairview School. So if you're listening to this and you're from Fairview, I'm sure a few people, I think he's actually still alive. Like, I'd love to say hi to him. And he just was great. I remember a big trampoline there. I guess I did mention that because I was talking about the trampoline last week. But yeah, we would do a lot of fun things there. And, but no way, disco was way more of a priority if you could get the money, and I mean, take the bus across town and go to Bevan. I woke up with one hell, this is March 10th now, of a splitting headache. I went to bed last night at 1 a.m. and woke up at 7 a.m. and couldn't get back to sleep. I went home at 12 noon and slept till 4. I was hot and tired with an awful headache. Oh, sounds like COVID. It's 1979. Could have been like an earlier version. Barbara was being... She's being a bitch for a while this morning. So what else is new? What a nasty friend I'm being. I'm sorry, Barb. I'm really, really sorry. But yeah, she gave as good as I did too. But we've always had that friendship, and we still do. We're still friends. We're 54, going on 55 this year. And you know what? We still give each other space. There's a lot that we don't see eye to eye on, but there's a lot we do. And that is the beauty of friendships and the freedom of speech, my friends. Phil Hagen said, I looked freaked out coming home. I think he meant on the bus. How could I when I never touched a thing? I hope God makes sure I never touch drugs or alcohol. I want to have a clean life. Good night. What a good girl. So I had a pretty good little head on my shoulder at times. I might, by the time we get into grade 8 and 9, I'll probably maybe break a couple of those self-commandments. March 11th, so this is the next day. I've had this fever and not felt well. I've still got a fever. I was bored, so I started knitting. Lately, I've been getting a lot of pimples. Mom said I'm probably gonna get my period. Good night. Oh, didn't that just read like a Judy Blume book? Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. I got my period, and I gotta tell all my friends. We did that in grade 6. I think I mentioned that in an earlier story where Barb, yes, Miss Barb Fair, she designated that we all had to get bras, and we all went down to Sears and got like matching little dicey bras. And I said, whoever gets their period has to tell. And then Diana Blackhall and Karina Weens, if you're watching this, they came up with something, you know, that just mimed the "Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret" book. And I think, you know, you had to make a list of all the boys you liked, and I can't remember what the 4th one was. Dear Diary, today I went downtown with Diana. Then I went to her house. Jennifer's mom was complaining that she was a cripple and worked all day. When Jennifer asked her mom to give her a ride home, her mom finally said yes. Again, I apologize for the way that sounds. We wouldn't really use that, language today, like a cripple, because people that have special needs and physical challenges, they're not like suffering or wheelchair bound or crippled, right? Like they're human beings, and those are just an extension for them to use their bodies. So I'm glad we got away from that awful kind of labeling. I went to Diana's today to play softball. Andrew and I were fighting because he called me a slob. I was gonna throw my freezy at him, but I decided not to. Wow, these are like really groundbreaking things I'm revealing. I think it does get juicier. Oh, now here's a split page here, like 1979 and then 1981. Because I was saying, you know, I was cheap. I recycled this for like a couple of years, so we can have a lot of fun for quite a few weeks in this little red book. Today, Mr. Dillabaugh phoned my mom and told her about the Wall stuff. And I don't mean Pink Floyd The Wall. That doesn't come out till grade 8. And oh yeah, I was definitely a devotee of that album. But she wasn't that mad because I've already told her about it. Hey, see kids, the truth will set you free. I actually had a good time when I was going through my punishment. I was writing on the wall. You know, Katie Sirianni was here, and Katie's the coolest kid ever. And he caught a bunch of us. So he made us, take the sponges and soapy water and go scrub all of our stuff off the walls after school. And as I recall, I just remember that day, you know, you don't remember what people said or did, but I remember the feeling of just having fun with all the naughty kids that I had to wash the walls with. We made it into a good time. And here's even funnier. I work at Wellington, and I work with one of Mr. Dillabaugh's daughters. I love her. She's really nice. And the other daughter is a teacher that I worked with when I worked at Georgia years ago. I won't say their names because I don't even know if they watched this, but that's not relevant. Today we had the first game of the season and lost the first game in grass hockey, 4-0. Oh well, it was a fun game. Our coach, Danny, wouldn't let me go forward because I don't run fast enough, but put me right halfback and said I was a good checker. I think that's lingo for you're slow and fat. You know, I wasn't that, but when looking back now, really. But hey, I had my issues and I was kind of chubby. I don't know. I always stayed in the sports, and even in grade 8, I remember when we ran, I would never be the last. You know, I wasn't like the skinny smoking girls that would just walk the whole time. I actually did push myself, but he didn't see that clearly. Okay, we're at 9 minutes. Let's carry on. Today we had to wash the walls. Oh, okay. I thought we did that the day before. It was fun because there were lots of kids. See, I told you, and I haven't read this in like 10 years. Tomorrow we go skiing, so I'm staying overnight at Diana's house. Unfortunately, Donna's staying overnight too, but I'll have to make the best of it. Today we got our report cards. I have improved tremendously. Woo! That's pretty cool. Mr. Bashir was our teacher. He was awesome. I always felt like he really liked me. We all were really lucky to have him, but I felt like he let me be me, you know, like he always found little ways for me to showcase my humor. And one of them actually got to say thank you to him a few years ago. Actually, wow, like back in 09, I was working at Georgia School, and he's probably retired now, but at the time, about a decade ago, he was working with teachers doing their practicum. So he was supervising them. And so I had heard he was at Georgia, and I was hoping to run into him. And so one day I'm pulling like big construction paper off the roll in the hall, and I look up, and I haven't seen the guy in like, I guess it's about 32 years. And I look up, and there he is coming down the hall, and I'm like, Mr. Bashir. And he's like, Katie? And so we didn't have a lot of time to chat, but I did leave him a really cool photo of him coaching my brother Fred's soccer team in '76. It's wicked. Like Fred and all his friends are all tough, and they got the big afros, and I'll show you that next time. I'm not going to dig around for it right now though. And then I wrote him a letter, and I told him that in the letter, we had a creative writing story, and I like to do creative writing. So that wasn't something I would have tried to get out of, and I did a great job. And I remember, I think I had a ball game, and it was like a Saturday morning, and I opened the bread box to make toast, and there was my creative writing assignment inside the bread box. That's how it was in our family, because it was like Grand Central Station. There's like always like at least 12, 15 people moving about through our house. So I kind of went, well, actually it's probably a good place for it, and I took the bread out, slammed the door shut. Monday, when I go to get my creative writing assignment, it's gone. And Dad's at work, Fred's at work or sleeping, and I'm asking Mom, and she hasn't seen it. Nobody has seen this creative writing assignment. So Mr. Bashir just howled. Like, he actually said that was the most creative way of losing homework that he'd ever heard. Like, even the dog eating it. So it was really funny. I got to 32 years later saying, I just want you to know for the record, that seriously happened. That was my house. Okay, we're at 12 minutes. Oh, 12:26. You know what? Okay, I'm going to read you March 22nd. Am I ever tired? We went to Mount Seymour, and they made me go down the bunny hill, and I fell down a lot. So I had to hold on to the instructor the rest of the way down and up the rope tow. I hope he was hot. The ski boots started to cut into me, so I couldn't ski anymore. B2, East Indian kid, broke his leg, and Renee sprained her ankle. I have to do papers tomorrow because no one did them for me. Tomorrow I'm getting glasses. We threw snowballs at Teresa B, that's Teresa Barkhouse, and made her fall down. What fun. That wasn't very nice. She was sort of a nemesis. Sometimes we'd be friendly with her. Sometimes she could be a bit of a bully, and I believe that day we kind of bullied her back. Mom canceled our eye appointment today, so I missed school for nothing. Teresa isn't after me after all. Yeah, I thought she was going to beat me up after we plowed her with snowballs. I saw her tonight, and she talked with me. I hate her, though. I wish she'd keep the hell away from me. Aren't grade 7 girls just little bitches? Oh my God. Today I played tennis with Karina today. I beat her 40-38. I actually don't think that's even a score. Some cute boys were watching us. Woo! Okay, I'm going to end off there. We'll start back on March 25th next week because I'm going overtime. So good to see you. Hope you enjoy. Go open up pop, pop, pop music and dance around the house. It's really fun. Have a really great week ahead. Keep smiling. Keep dancing. Oh, and one more thing before you go. Can you please leave me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already? It really helps with the algorithm fairies. Thanks again.